If you had the faith the size of a mustard seed, you could tell this mountain to throw itself into the sea and it would obey you. Earth, air, fire, water, hot, cold, wet, dry, the elements of nature. They are yours to bend. They are an extension of your will. They are a manifestation of your spirit, your psyche. They exist within the mind. What I'm demonstrating here is no illusion. My fingers do not have calluses. I put my cigarettes out like this every day. And I don't blister. Once upon a time I did. Back before I realized that I could overcome the pain and choke the fire. And refuse the burning of my skin. You may wonder, how many times can I do that before it'll start to hurt? And the truth is, I can put out an entire pack of cigarettes like this before my skin will even begin to blemish. It hurts every time I do it. But I believe that pain is a form of weakness that just leaves the body. That's all it is. Pain is just weakness leaving the body. You can do anything you set your mind to. Mind over matter. Will over mind. If you know yourself and believe in yourself, then nothing will be impossible for you. ever since I discovered that I could do this, I've been able to pick up metal that was glowing red hot just moments before I picked it up. I barely let it cool down. It was a liquid a few seconds ago, and then I just pick it up and can handle it just like I do with this cherry on the end of the cigarette. You can hand me hot glass that's almost molten, and just after the red glow disappears, I can pick it up without hurting. I don't advise that you try that at home. It's not something that you try. When it comes to working with the element of fire to put it out without burning, that is something that you do not try. You simply do it, or you do not. I'm not trying to do this. I either do it or I don't. The fire is all in here. The heat is all in here. The pain is all in here. Where do you think this fire comes from? Most of you would say the fire in a lighter comes from the flint creating a spark, which ignites the gas, right? The truth is, this fire that you see comes into existence by the will of the mind. What I mean to say is, before the flint can strike and the gas can be released and ignite, a thought must occur. An electrical signal is sent to my hand, and that's where the fire came from. It came from in here. If I set this lighter down, it won't ignite itself. The flint won't create a spark. The gas won't release and ignite, not without a mind and a will to call it forth. So the moment that a flame is produced and you strike a lighter, the manifestation of that flame is a manifestation of the thinking mind and the will that becomes a spark, that becomes a flame. The entire world that we see as though it is surrounding, encompassing our body outside of us, it all exists as a perception inside of us. The light that comes in, that we perceive, that reflects off the world, that enables us to experience the very present moment that we live in, is but a reflection of a moment that exists and arises out of infinite an infinite ocean of potential to be, to take shape and be perceived within the reference frame of our observing consciousness. All things, whether they be matter or energy, are simply expressions of the will of the consciousness that underlines everything. All those things are themselves manifestations of an immaterial reality. The reality of the psyche, the reality of the spirit, the intangible, the unknowable, the ineffable, imperceivable entity that permeates and emanates from all places and all points in space and time. You see, space and time are the stage upon which the setting for matter is taking place. So if you were to think of the universe like a theater or an opera, with all the performers on the stage being themselves like matter, matter is like performers on a stage dancing, while space and time are the stage itself, in which, the setting, that's the setting in which the theater is occurring. But matter and energy are the emanation of a wave that ripples and collapses upon the waters of the spirit. This ocean of consciousness is vibrating with the crests and troughs of waves that take shape and form into vibrations that are perceivable as solid things and objects with localized, finite, objective, intangible existence. But you see, all of it is happening in space and time, which is happening in mind and memory. Without memory, there is no time. And without consciousness or the observing mind, there is no space. Space is inside of us, and so is time. Both exist within our perceiving eyes, or our eye. The I am is the setting in which space takes place. Consciousness is the stage in which time and space are suspended. The kingdom of heaven is inside of you, and it is outside of you. It is stretched across the lands, and yet men do not see it. When they ask, where is the kingdom of heaven? The kingdom of heaven is within you. And whosoever shall know himself shall find it. If they ask you, where is the kingdom of heaven? And you say that it is in the sky above, then the birds of the sky will precede you. The birds will beat you to it. And if they ask you, where's the kingdom of heaven? And you tell them, it is in the sea, then the fish of the sea will precede you. But if you ask me, where is the kingdom of heaven? I shall say to you, the kingdom of heaven is within you. When you know yourselves, then you will become known. And it is then that you will realize that it is you who are the children of the living Father. But if you do not know yourselves, then you dwell in poverty, and you are that poverty. When you make the two into one, and when you make the inner like the outer, and the upper like the lower, and you make the male and the female into a single one, so that the male shall not be male, nor the female female. And when you fashion an eye in the place of an eye, and a hand in the place of a hand, and a foot in the place of a foot, and an image in the place of an image, a likeness in place of a likeness, then you shall enter the kingdom of heaven. A person who is like God will be filled with light, but a person who lives separated from God, he will be full of darkness. Consciousness and light, spirit and light are one and the same. We are the spirit of light that came from the sun. All the life that exists within your body was once sunlight that passed through the food chain. Every bit of chemical energy that moves your muscles, empowers your nervous system, all that electrochemical energy is sunlight that has awakened in the form of a human being to experience itself in the world from the perspective of a human. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with him, and without him was not a single thing made that was made. And in him was the life, and the life was the light of men. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Well, if the life was the light of men, and if God is light, as it is said in Scripture, and as it has been said throughout time, then light and life are one. Spirit, light, consciousness, life, it's all the same thing, simply spread out and condensed into infinite densities of vibration that manifest as shape and form and fluidity and solidity, whether it be the energy that holds the atom together or the energy of the atom itself that it's made of. All energy is the result, all matter is the result of a subnuclear quantum vibration or a subatomic sound, so to speak. What is a word? A word is a vibration of sound. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And the same was in the beginning with him. If we take that verse and put it into the modern idiom, and we say that at the time and place, at the beginning of the moment of creation, before the world took shape, before this universe came into being, the presence of a sound came forth. And into the depths of space, that sound became light, and that light became life. When we word it like that, things seem to make a lot more sense. As for the, you know, conundrum between science and theology, and you know, theoretical physics and astronomy, and chemistry, etc., versus religion and mythology, etc. You know, there's this conundrum between the two, this controversy that stands between those subjects as though they're incompatible. But the truth be told, the Big Bang Theory, the idea that space and time expanded out from a single point in a big bang. You know, it's funny that we call it a bang because a bang is a sound, but in the beginning a big sound took place, and out from it light came forth. You know, the theory states that like a microsecond after space and time erupted from the singularity, an immense bright light came radiating out of the center of the Big Bang before all that energy, which was incredibly, unimaginably hot and volatile. At some point, seconds later, all that light and heat began to cool down rapidly, and it decelerated. All that energy that was accelerating outward exponentially at first, it began to decelerate, and this allowed gravity to take hold and pull and congeal the vibrating waves of light into pockets of space that became more and less dense than other places in pockets of space filled with energy of less density, which enabled subatomic particles to coagulate out of this field of light becoming matter. And so all matter is light in a different form. It is energy that has been slowed down and brought to a vibration that holds the atom together. The founding father of quantum mechanics once said, "There is no matter as such. All matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force. We must assume behind this force the existence of a conscious and intelligent mind, and this mind is the matrix of all matter." Truth is stranger than fiction, but it is because fiction is obliged to stick to possibilities. Truth isn't.